All right. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hopefully well. We're back. We're playing more Resident Evil Survivor 2 hyphen Code Veronica. Everyone's favorite Resident Evil game ever. Genuinely. It's the best one. We still had a little bit of the arcade mode. And we were in the last few levels for the dungeon mode. Those seem like they're going to be pretty brutal. I don't know. Maybe the layout will be super easy once I just get really adjusted to it, but they feel like they're going to be brutal. Mostly because of the layout, as has been the case with the other dungeon mode maps so far. We'll see. We'll see. It shouldn't be terrible. It shouldn't be. But I say that every time, and then sometimes it's not. And then sometimes I leave these streams like, oh my god, what am I doing? Capture, hello? My game capture? Hello? Could you... Ah, there we go. Finally, some peak RE. Yes, sir. Here it is, everyone's favorite. Survivor 2. Let's blast an arcade mode run. I feel like that's a good place to start. Easy place to start. I only need to unlock stage 5 still for like the individuals, and then we're done. And I need to S rank the individuals as well. But arcade mode is genuinely close to being done. Like totally never have to touch it again kind of done. So we're getting places. And we're near the end of dungeon mode. The end is in sight in general. It's not like we're right at the end, but it's generally in sight. I hate this game so much. I don't know what you're talking about. You must be lying, because every Resident Evil fan, this is their favorite game in the series. Every single one of them. No one has ever disagreed. Not a single Resident Evil fan. Ever. Streamer? Yes. Oh shit. Good start. $11 days until reloaded. Yeah, so get this, chat. Get this, right? I did confirm. I keep, this is like the third time I've confirmed it, but I keep thinking that maybe I was wrong. Just last night, though, I confirmed for like the third time. Reloaded and Delta Early Access start on the same day. So I will be a day late to streaming Gears of War Reloaded. Let it be known. I will be 1 day late because they're on the same day. So it is what it is. Early access for Reloaded? No, for Delta. Because Reloaded comes out on the 26th and Delta comes out on the 28th. But the early access for MGS Delta is also on the 26th. So they're the same day. Yeah. Why can't they be like Battlefield and Call of Duty and just perfectly space themselves out like a month apart for us? That would be great. That would be awesome, actually. If they could just space themselves out by like a month, that would be perfect. Ideal, even. play the game that is released not early. I'll be so real. Metal Gear is gonna get more views. I'll be so real with you. Metal Gear has to take priority. Although playing Gears 1 did better than I thought it would, like views wise for streaming. It did pretty, I think it was actually like equal once I plugged them all into the spreadsheet for like the last few weeks and averaged them out. I think Gears was perfectly equal to Yakuza in terms of viewership on my stream. I think. It was that, or it was off by like maybe 1 or 2 average viewers, but they were basically the same. Engagement was about the same. Uh-oh. I've not played Subnautica, no. I do have it because it was free on Epic like years ago, but I've never played it. Sauce. It's really good. Yeah, it seems like it is. I'm not a survival game fan, but that seems like one that could be an exception. Where are my criticals? Hello? There we go. Okay. I already took damage in this stage too. This sucks. How did you not hit me? It's crazy that Gears and Delta are both so close though. Focusing on trash like RE9 instead of re-releasing this masterpiece. It's true. So true. Do you guys see actually that it's confirmed? Tuesday is when we're getting RE9 stuff. We know now we're getting RE9 stuff on Tuesday. Because they announced the Gamescom like showcase schedule. And Requiem is on the show on Tuesday. I've been getting disconnected from EA servers, so I'm suffering right now. I played a little bit more last night before I went to sleep of the Battlefield beta. That new map is just ass. That new map is bad. I think it's called Empire State. That map sucks. That map is actually awful. S? Maybe. God damn it. I like it. Bro, it's so bad. Literally just everywhere you are, there are like 8 sight lines to where you, like, that you have to be trying to watch. And because it's so small and all the sights are literally laid out in like a star pattern, enemies just come from all sides at any time. There's like no flow to it. It's so shit. Breakthrough was better. Breakthrough was better. The first sector on Breakthrough was kind of ass. But Breakthrough plays better on it than Conquest. Conquest just plays so shit. This beta's too infantry focused. I genuinely, like, we don't know, but I kind of get the feeling, like, as much as I want to be here, like, it's probably just that we're getting the more infantry-centric maps because they want to get more, like, live metrics and stuff like that on things like weapon balance and everything. I'm starting to think that the whole game might just play like that. It might just be a very infantry-centric game compared to previous Battlefields. Most of the vehicles are pretty poor. To be fair, I think it's like part of that is engineers get 2 rockets in BF6 every spawn, which is a lot. That's a lot of firepower for them to be running around with. Because it makes it so that like one engineer with a single medic bag can just kill a tank if they don't have someone, like if they don't have their own engineer sitting there pocketing it. Literally just one engineer can solo a tank in this game. The tanks are very out of balance, and like armored trucks and stuff too, even more so. The helicopters I saw they said are gonna get nerfed because the helicopters are way too good right now. I saw that DICE was like, yeah, we're gonna nerf helicopters after the beta, don't worry. Because helicopters are fucking insane right now. Really? Yeah, they're gonna nerf the choppers. But I agree on the rest of the vehicles. The rest of them are definitely... Well, it's not even that the vehicles themselves are bad. The big issue is really that engineers have too much firepower for dealing with them right now. Like, recon C4ing tanks has always been a thing. That's not a problem, because that's kind of tricky to do in most cases. But, yeah, engineers spawning with 2 rockets in their pocket every time. And then if you have a medic bag, I think they can get filled up to 6. I've been playing a lot of engineer. I don't know. It's definitely at least 5, maybe 6 rockets that you can carry at a time. The splash damage is garbage? I feel like the splash damage is fine. I think engineers are maybe just too powerful. Genuinely, just they carry too many rockets. That's the main issue, I think. Other than that, the tanks seem pretty okay. Like, their health feels pretty normal. It takes about 5 rockets to blow up a tank without any heals. I feel like it is just because a sole engineer could take out a tank on his own. Missed the UAV from Bad Company 2? Honestly, I kind of do as well. Because yeah, you could have someone load it up with C4 and then fly it into shit and just blow it up. It was awesome. I feel like there's not much stuff like that in Battlefield 6. At least not in the beta that we've gotten. And I haven't really thought about that until just now. But yeah, now that you have me thinking about it, I feel like Battlefield 6 really just doesn't have any of the... Like, with 2042, they literally used it as, like, a marketing campaign. They genuinely made a whole campaign around only in Battlefield moments. And I feel like Battlefield 6 doesn't have those. Now that I'm reflecting on that, I feel like the game just doesn't have those only in Battlefield moments. I was talking about another game only 14 minutes in. It's because we've done this exact thing like at least 20 times. Minimum 20 times. I do the same thing with Ace Combat, grinding those out. Because it gets to a point where, like, once I've played this so many times on stream, I can't even, like, find something to talk about with it. Son of a bitch. Medic gameplay seems pretty chaotic. I mean, it's Battlefield. So yeah. What's pissing me off is all the medics running around in this game who don't know that you need to hold the defib to revive people with more than half their health. No one is holding the defib and charging it up and then using it. Genuinely no one. Like, I keep getting revived in the middle of a site on, like, rush or breakthrough. And they're just tapping the defib instead of holding it down. And so I'm getting revived with, like, half of my health. And you're in, like, the instant death state. And you're just laying down on the ground in the middle of the only objective on the map. So, of course, you insta-die immediately after getting revived. You got like 8 people down, you gotta be fast. I mean, there's that, but I'm talking like, I don't think I've been picked up at 100% health more than once in all my time in the beta so far. Like, I think it maybe happened once, and it was probably false that did it. It probably wasn't even a random, to be honest with you. But will I play Metal Gear 3DS? Not the 3DS version, because it is just MGS3 with crouch walking. Which Delta now has crouch walking as well. So the 3DS version is losing its like one, I guess, gimmick that it had to Delta. I killed someone with the defib, that was fun. Killing people with the defib is great. New players, yeah, it's wild, the influx of new players on Battlefield 6. With Peace Walker mechanics, not just crouch walking? What else is there from Peace Walker? I haven't heard anything else, or... Yeah, I did see gameplay of it at some point. I didn't notice anything else. There we go. Going to attempt to connect to the servers. Are they just having outages, or is it just you? Also, I'm so gonna die. No, I don't. No, I don't. I do not. Hopefully not just me. Hopefully. Yes, he does. No, I don't. I don't. I'm playing it right now? Okay, so it's not outages then. Favorite Transformers movie? The first one. Not that that's saying a lot. Oh, he comes through the other door. Shit. Is there really not a medkit in there? I could have sworn there was. never beating the allegations. I'm not. Is one the animated one? Was that the one that came out like last year? Because I didn't see it. The last Transformers movie that I saw was Transformers 2. Okay. I need this caffeine to kick in faster. Resident Evil code, or sorry, Survivor 2 Code Veronica is already having its effects on me. I need this caffeine in my bloodstream now. Incoming charge move. Ow, son of a bitch. I lived. I lived. Oh, there we go. Was Transformers 1 the one that came out like a year ago? Give or take. I could probably do the Alexia fight with like half of my health. Maybe. Should be fine. It was? Yeah, okay. I heard it was good, but I also, to everyone's constant surprise, am not a Transformers fan. Not because I dislike it, but just like I've never been drawn to it. First time I got the server full queue, bro, how I get it like every single time I log on. Like if I go and log on right now, I'll get it. If I do it in like 10 minutes, I'll get it. If I do it in 11 minutes, I'll get it. Oh, I can't see which one it is when I'm that close. Oh. Uh-oh. That works. Don't tell me you're 100%ing this game. Have you seen the title? I don't even know if that's an S rank. I'll be real. Okay, thank God it is. Handgun bonus alone on that stage without a death should be enough for an S rank. Is it just me, or is the knife in BO6 almost impossible to get kills with? I haven't really tried to use it outside of doing takedowns with it.
The self-destruct
so I don't know. Because the takedowns obviously work.
All personnel evacuate immediately.
A big boy.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All
It's time.
Evacuate immediately.
It's like 3-ish stabs without... Oh, to the front? You have to get behind them. Or sorry, you have to get them from behind for insta-kill. Okay. For a second, I thought you just meant it's like 3 stabs without a takedown. I was like, what? But no, that makes sense. You have to get the backstab for the one shot. Thank God that med kit is actual full health. Not that it's going to save me, but imagine if it wasn't. I made it this far without dying. I haven't even used a single continue yet. I am going to use one here, but I didn't getting here, so that's something. Come on, Steven. Oh, bullshit. This boss. Like when he's far away and you can actually react to it in time, it's fine to dodge that attack. There we go. Can't wait to run into you and steal your dog tags, like on release, maybe. Never. Never, ever. Alright, I don't know how many arcade mode runs we've done at this point, but there's another one. We have however many runs of this it will take, because we don't know. We just don't know how many more arcade mode runs are required, because there's no metric out there for how to unlock the stage 5, or for how to unlock like half of what's in this game. But surely at some point I'll get that unlocked. And it was what, 5 dungeon mode levels left, or was it 6? I think it was 6. I need to be free from this game. I need to be free. Yeah, because there's an extra stage on the last map compared to the first 2. The first 2 have 6 missions. The third one has 7. I don't know why, but it does. Have you seen the animated movies? Not all of them, but I've seen the first couple. I think the first one I think is called Degeneration. I don't remember what the second one was called. They were okay. Like, they're not bad, but they're not great either. They're just okay. They're really just okay. Apparently, Death Island was really bad. At least that's word on the street, for the most part. The one that came out like a couple years ago was apparently rough. Hey, if you're feeling generous, you know, even though I died once in there. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Can't believe you didn't review the Degeneration mobile game. There are already 30 RE games, and that one's just not worth it. It's so hard to even get your hands on, and then it's like 30 minutes.
Resident Evil.
And also, from what I've heard and from what I saw, it apparently was made by the same people that did the Dead Space mobile game. And they just reused a lot of the stuff from the Dead Space game, but like changed the models. So it's not even like a totally original game for the movie. They kind of just redid the Dead Space mobile game, whatever that one was called, and put like an RE skin over top of it. Yeah, they are better than the live action ones. That is true. But it's not hard to be that. Is that game lost media? I don't think it's entirely lost, but it's really hard to track down. I don't think it's totally lost media, but it's really, really hard to track down. This map is gonna be the death of me. It's gems. I gotta find all 5 gems scattered around the map. So here's where we get real familiar with the Inferno map. Uncomfortably familiar with the Inferno map, even. More familiar than we would ever want to be. What is this gun? Infinite ammo linear launcher from the end of Code Veronica. Oh, there we go. Fuck that guy. So chat, in other gaming news, y'all heard about them Black Ops 7 leaks perchance? The gameplay details that leaked that may or may not be legit, but if they are legit, they're very interesting. I have not? Well. I'm trying to remember. Apparently specialists are back from like Black Ops 3 and 4. They're doing specialists again, the leak said. Trying to remember what else. No tac sprint, I remember being one of them. Apparently the game doesn't have any tac sprint, but still omni movement. Like you can still sprint side to side and all that. Like dive backwards, whatever the fuck. But no tactical sprint, apparently. I don't remember if it touched on like the little wall bounce that we had heard rumored for a while. But for a long time, we heard that they would have like wall running, but not like a full wall run, more just like you could kind of get like 2 or 3 steps off the wall and then you'd come back down. Which always sounded weird. I don't know if the new leak touched on that at all, because that always just sounded kind of confusing. Like for a boots on the ground game, why even have something that like minor other than just for the sake of having it, I guess. Although apparently, according to leaks, Sledgehammer's new game coming in like 2027 it would be, is supposed to have like kung fu moves as a core part of the combat. Which I, for the sake of transparency, don't really believe that leak, because what? Going back to a post-Titanfall world? No, less of a wall run than Titanfalls. Like, it would literally be like 2 steps, and then that's the end of your wall run, allegedly. But that's what I'm saying, where I'm like, if that's the case, why even have a wall run? Like, if it's more like a bounce than like a run, then what's even the point? I smell bait. Yeah, it was... I can't even remember what exactly it was, but basically that leak was saying that, like, Sledgehammer's new game would be totally kung fu inspired, and I was like, how the fuck? Would they make... Like, maybe they replace the melee attacks with, like, martial arts moves, sure. But outside of that, like, how do you implement kung fu into Call of Duty? Like a wall jump? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't really... I need to go look. Because, honestly, it doesn't make much sense in terms of, like, why would we even bother? Matrix and... Yeah, think more like Matrix, where they just kind of, like, you know, run along the wall for, like, a couple steps, and then they're back on the ground. It would be like that, basically. And I don't really see that being very useful outside of, I guess, just if you want to have like a couple spots on like the maps in multiplayer where you have to like run across a small gap to traverse it like that. But outside of something like that, I don't see where that would be helpful. I don't see where that would come into the gameplay, really. How do you implement martial arts in COD? No idea. That same leak did also detail that it would be a whole new, like, sub-franchise of Call of Duty, though. Because you know how, like, there's the Modern Warfare games, there's the Black Ops games, and they're, like, their own sub-series? Apparently, Sledgehammer's next title is, like, the start of their own new sub-series going forward. Although, so was Advanced Warfare, and then so was Vanguard, and so, like... Take that with a grain of salt, too. This is Sledgehammer's, like, 3rd attempt at starting a new sub-series. So. And we weren't even supposed to be getting Modern Warfare games anymore, because Ghosts was supposed to be Infinity Ward's new sub-series back in the day. We were... Like, prior to the release of Call of Duty Ghosts, we were under the impression that now that the Modern Warfare trilogy had ended, we were gonna get like a Ghosts trilogy. But then we only got the one because people didn't like it. So they just dropped it. Is this the hub that I started in? Sledgehammer made all of the bad ones? No. Infinity Ward made like half of the bad ones, and Treyarch made a couple bad ones too. They all carry equal blame. But Infinity Ward made Ghosts and Infinite Warfare. Modern Warfare 2019. I mean, what? That was weird. You guys hear that? Must have been the wind. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. And then Treyarch has had their iffy ones too. They made COD 3. They made surely more bad Call of Duties than just 3. A lot of people don't like Black Ops 4. I don't mind Black Ops 4 though. It's not my favorite, but like I like Black Ops 4. Treyarch is probably the most consistent. Because they pretty much, they did COD 3, they did World at War, and then all the Black Ops games. So they're definitely the most consistent. I haven't bought a new one since Cold War. Cold War was good. The multiplayer wasn't so much my thing, but the multiplayer wasn't bad either. Campaign was good in Cold War, and the zombies was really good in Cold War. Did you say Sledgehammer is the weakest? I want to say that, but then I remember that Infinity Ward is right there. Like, I don't want to say that Infinity Ward is like the weakest, because Infinity Ward started Call of Duty. Like the first entry in the whole series, like just Call of Duty, that's it, was really good. It was an awesome single player World War II game that had a multiplayer that was there, but like really it was a predominantly single player World War II game. And that was, it was awesome. There's a reason that Call of Duty became so successful, right? It had a great start. Infinity Ward also made Call of Duty 2, which is an even better, primarily single-player World War II game. And then after that, because Treyarch took COD 3, they made Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, and did that whole trilogy. And the whole original Modern Warfare trilogy is very solid. COD 4, the original Modern Warfare, was the game that like skyrocketed Call of Duty's popularity, right? Because it started out, it was very popular before that came out, but it like skyrocketed after COD 4. Went to the fucking moon after that one. So Infinity Ward has a great history being like the creators of the series, and for the first like decade of Call of Duty being a thing, they consistently made really good entries. But then yeah, after the split, like post MW2, they really went downhill. And I feel like Infinity Ward has not made a single COD game that I genuinely like since then. Because I'm trying to think, like after the weird split, MW3 was solid, but MW3 was like half Infinity Ward, half Sledgehammer. We've gotten more details on that over the years, because for a while we didn't really know who exactly did what in that game. But for original MW3, Infinity Ward made the campaign and only the campaign. And Sledgehammer made the Spec Ops and the multiplayer components of the original MW3. And we've learned that much more recently, actually. Like, only in the last 3 or so years did we really get that nailed down. just thanks to old Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer devs who aren't with the companies anymore, doing like media appearances and interviews and stuff like that, talking about MW3. But for a while, we were under the impression that Infinity Ward like made the whole game and Sledgehammer just assisted on it, but no. Sledgehammer actually made the majority of Modern Warfare 3 back in the day. Which is interesting, because we thought it was like the other way around. We thought they were just the support studio. But no, they were genuinely, they did more than half the work on that game. Is that when Sledgehammer got its start on COD? Yeah, MW3 was Sledgehammer's first COD game. Yes. And I would actually argue that Sledgehammer had a similar thing like with Infinity Ward, where they had a really strong start, but they fell off after they had that massive restructuring and layoff cycle in the middle of World War II. Not like back in the 1940s, like Call of Duty World War II. Because they started with MW3, then Advanced Warfare was not anyone's favorite by any means. But I feel like time has been pretty generous to Advanced Warfare, where most people, including myself, look back on it and are like, yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but it was a very solid Call of Duty title. And that was Sledgehammer's second game. And then they made World War II, which was also not my favorite, but pretty solid all around. Like, its campaign was okay. Its multiplayer was okay. Its zombies was good, but not great. It was just all around like an okay Call of Duty, World War II. But in the middle of World War II, they had a similar restructuring to Infinity Ward, where most of their leadership got laid off and went to work elsewhere, including Michael, I can't remember his last name because my brain thinks Cornbread. Because for a while in the community, the meme was that we called him Michael Cornbread. But, and it's ruining me. I can't think of his actual last name. Someone please help me. Someone in chat will know, surely. But that guy, Michael Cornbread, whatever his name actually was, and Glenn Schofield were both, like, the two really, really influential leadership figures at Sledgehammer Games all that time. Glenn Schofield also just being kind of legendary outside of COD as well, because not only did he work on like MW3 and Advanced Warfare and stuff, but prior to that, he was the creator of Dead Space. And he only worked on the first Dead Space game, because after that he went to work at Sledgehammer. Actually, I think he was there for part of Dead Space 2's production, and then left for Sledgehammer. Condrey, yes. Michael Condrey, not Cornbread. And obviously a lot of the other leadership figures and developers also got laid off during that. It was a big layoff wave that restructured the whole company. But those guys were huge losses for the studio when they got fired. Assumedly, we still don't really know exactly why, but assumedly just because they were too expensive, because they were both pretty influential designers just prior to working on Call of Duty. But Michael Cornboy, I kind of like that more than Cornbread. I like Cornboy. But I would say the same thing happened with Sledgehammer, where like they had a few solid games. MW3 actually is a lot of people's favorite Call of Duty ever, the original MW3. You'll hear a lot of people say that nowadays. So like one really good Call of Duty, like really, really golden age COD, right? And then a couple solid ones that weren't amazing, but weren't bad either. And then after they got restructured, it became a disaster. Because their only retail product since then, well, full-blown retail product since then was Vanguard. They did assist on the new MW3 with Infinity Ward, but their only full product since that time frame was Vanguard. The lesser talked about thing, though, with them being a shit show after that layoff wave and restructuring, is that, or sorry, rewind. That was a weird way to start with it. Is that, Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, was originally not Treyarch's game. They were not planning on releasing a game that year. They didn't have anything slotted. And Sledgehammer was working on Call of Duty 2020 after their restructuring. But about a year before its release, Activision stepped in to look at it. They just came in for a quick check to see how things were going. They looked at the game and said, holy shit, this project is such a disaster that it will not be ready for release. Even if it is ready for release, it's not going to be good. This will be a shit show for us. So they had Sledgehammer give what they had made of that project to Treyarch and go work on their own thing that was built off of the backbone of Modern Warfare 2019, and that was Vanguard, that they went off to work on last minute. And Treyarch got handed like the skeleton of this fucked up project from Sledgehammer, and they had a year to fix it up and release it as a Black Ops game. And that game that Sledgehammer was working on but wasn't able to get together, had to hand off, is Cold War. Cold War was made off of a very bare bones skeleton that was handed to Treyarch in about a year. So Sledgehammer's been a real disaster since the restructuring. Similar to Infinity Ward, where Infinity Ward had some really dark days after their restructuring. Sledgehammer's had it just as bad, if not worse, in a similar circumstance. Hello, Groka. Sorry, I find Call of Duty's development history probably more interesting than I should. Because you want to talk about like weird AAA like game dev politics, you will never see those fucky ass industry politics come into play as much as you do around the Call of Duty franchise. Like, so much happens behind the scenes with Call of Duty that we then only learn about like a few years after the fact. And you just get these wild stories like Cold War's development just being insane. Like basically just being, holy shit, Sledgehammer's game is such a disaster. Treyarch, please fix it. You have a year. And they somehow did. Like, Cold War is not my favorite Warzone era Call of Duty. Warzone era being everything Modern Warfare 19 through now. But it's my second favorite. And even when it came out, like prior to that game, it was probably my favorite COD since Black Ops 3. Just because before that was like Black Ops 4, I have to think, World War II, Infinite Warfare. So like Cold War, despite the crazy circumstances it was in, development-wise, came out pretty well. It's like it did come out in a rough state where it didn't have a lot of content, but like the core game was pretty good. Just, I think it had like 8 multiplayer maps, 1 zombies map, and a campaign that was good. The campaign was good, but the multiplayer and the zombies both were like, wow, there's almost nothing to do in this game. And that's why. It's because they, like we now know, they cobbled that whole project together in about a year. They had fucking no time for that. Is that only 3 gems? Oh no, that's 4. Okay. I thought I had only found 3 and I was like, dude, I'm never escaping. What's your favorite? My favorite Call of Duty ever is Black Ops 3. And it's only because the zombies was so good in that game. Because I say all the time, Black Ops 3's campaign, absolute train wreck. Like, probably the worst COD campaign ever, right there alongside the new MW3. BO3's multiplayer, I know has a lot of fans out there. I am not one of them. I did not enjoy that multiplayer. I played it a little bit. I think I got like Prestige 1 level 30 or 40. But that was it. I didn't play like a lot of it. And even then, a lot of my playtime on the multiplayer was more like, you know, I had friends who were like, yo, let's play multiplayer. And I played with them. Like, I played it as like a social game sort of thing, right? So I probably would have played even less if that wasn't the case. Train go boom, yes. Oh, favorite Warzone era COD? It's actually Black Ops 6. Like 100%. I think the best Warzone era COD has been Black Ops 6. It easily is the most playtime I've put into any of them during its year of content since the Warzone era started. For sure. Good campaign. Good multiplayer. I actually like BO6's multiplayer way more than I expected. If you go back to like last summer and early fall VODs, if you catch Black Ops 6 coming up in discussion before it released, I frequently said out loud, I don't think that multiplayer is going to be for me. It looks like that's the kind of multiplayer that I'm just not going to enjoy. And that's fine. I'm there for the zombies anyway. But I've played about as much multiplayer on that game as I have zombies throughout the year. I ended up really liking it. And the zombies was really good. Not amazing. Definitely not amazing, but consistently high quality on the zombies side this year. And I think generally it trended upwards as the game went through its life. The zombies maps, I mean. Like the quality of zombies maps, I do think trended upwards throughout the year. Because my ranking of the maps, now that like the final one came out, it's not one-to-one like this, but generally the earlier maps, like the ones that the game came out with, are lower on the lists. And my top 3 is almost all the maps that came out in the second half of the year. Like, generally, I think the maps got better in BO6 as the game went on. Except for the Tomb, which I place at number 5 out of 6. The Tomb is fine. It's just weaker, and it feels a little less fleshed out, a little less polished than the other ones. But, like, you look at it in the lineup next to the others, and the Tomb is very obviously, like, a filler map. It was a map that they could get out so that they could have one zombies map per season and still have plenty of time to work on what was going to be the next one. That ended up being Shattered Veil. And also, I do miss Blackout. I don't know. Because I think that Warzone was better than Blackout. Hold on, calm down. At the very beginning of the game's life. Like when Warzone first came out. And this was only a year after Blackout. So it was like a very fresh comparison. I remember that being like the big discussion when it came out, right? It was like Warzone versus Blackout. I did like Warzone more. But Warzone, as it got more updates, progressively went in a direction that I really didn't like. And pretty much since, like, Cold War came out, I've had no interest in Warzone. Genuinely, I don't enjoy Warzone. So I feel like they started out great, but then they went in a direction that very much catered to, like, the Warzone streamers and like the crazy mega sweat players, and I just did not enjoy that direction. And it makes me kind of miss the more casual like laid back aspects of playing Blackout, if that makes sense. Because Warzone felt like it progressively just trended in the direction of like, how do we make the game faster? How do we take out all of the downtime that is there? And it went from like a really, really well-paced battle royale experience where, like, you know, you had these incredibly intense fights in Warzone in the launch state of the game where you couldn't just like zip around everywhere, and positioning was important back then, to like everyone just launching themselves off of balloons and like stim sprint slide canceling and all that just over and over and over and over and over. And like, holy shit. I think Warzone, when it first came out and played slower and actually had like genuine pacing to it, was so good. But they progressively went in a direction where it was just constant action and gunfights rather than, like, you know, intensity and then time to cool off and back and forth, which Battle Royale needs. It sounds so weird to say, but like Battle Royale does kind of need to be well paced like that to really work. How the fuck do people even take stories like this seriously? Bro, the MW2 and 3 campaigns, the reboot campaigns, were ridiculous story-wise. They were so wild. They were so crazy. Can't wait for Gamescom opening night live. Is opening night Tuesday? It is, right? It starts on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Blackout map was iconic. The Blackout map was good. So was original Verdansk, though. Again, before they added like redeploy balloons everywhere and zip lines and stuff everywhere. Original like launch state Verdansk was also a fantastic BR map. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I hate to be that guy, but we got the schedule for Tuesday night's show from Jeff Keighley. And unless he just left like big surprises out of the schedule, he didn't mention anything about there being like any surprises or big reveals. It was a full schedule of stuff that's already been revealed. I know it was a joke. Okay, I thought it was copium. I can never tell. I can't tell between the bait and the genuine copium. I do miss Blackout, though. But Blackout had some aspects that were awful, and I do remember those a lot. Like, level 3 armor. Just who the fuck? I put joke in the end? Oh, you did. I have to skim chat to be able to actually read it. So I miss stuff like that all the time. Am I going in circles? Feels like I'm going in circles. Hold on, I want to go find the schedule for Tuesday. Because I do remember it being a pretty packed schedule, actually. Like, I'm going to have to watch the Gamescom show. Maybe not, because I know they're going to fill it with all sorts of ridiculous, like, ads and stuff that I frankly just don't care about. I'll watch highlights after. I think that sounds better to me. I got it. It's Black Ops 7, RE9, the new Ghost game, Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer Worlds 2, Silent Hill F, and World of Warcraft Midnight, which I think is just a new World of Warcraft expansion. Question mark. And then there will also be a Fallout Season 2 and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 musical performance. So there's actually a lot of big stuff there just on the opening night. But I know that it's going to be so dragged out, and like genuinely I'm just there for like game info and trailers. I don't really want to watch the like Fallout Season 2 musical performance. I don't. I'll probably just watch the trailers individually once it's over, to be honest with you. I'll probably just go watch all those showcases one by one, just the ones I'm interested in after the fact. Because I've gotten there with the Game Awards and like E3 and everything. I don't want to watch them live anymore. Like, it's kind of fun to watch them live, but dude, there's always so much shit that's there, and just it like pads out the show, and I don't care. I've just stopped watching them live, genuinely. Which is wild. I used to like clear my schedule to make sure I had time to be there to watch it live. And now I'm just like, this show's stacked, but I think I'll just watch the trailers after. It's been a crazy switch. It happened kind of fast too. It was the Game Awards after the one where they started cutting people off, like cutting off their speeches. It was the one after that where they started letting people have their speeches again, and they filled it with so many advertisers and shit that I was just like, okay, I'm done. Never watching one of these live again. It was so long. It was so long. Because you kind of need to do one or the other. Like, you need to let people speak or fill it up with additional like music performances and advertisements and stuff like that. You can't do both. Because when you do both, bro, I'm just there to see the games and stuff. And listen to some of the speeches. Some of the speeches are good, but only like half of them, and even that's probably being generous. Not saying they shouldn't get their speeches, I'm just like, it's not exactly what I'm there for. Did you play Dawn of War Definitive Edition? No, I didn't. I didn't buy it yet. False talked me down. She was like, we have too much we're playing right now. Let's wait. And we can buy it when it's on sale, like cheaper than it is now. Because right now it's on sale, but it's only 10% off. So it's not really like a substantial sale. You know, getting 10% off of $30, you're only saving $3. She was like, let's play the stuff that we have now. And you know, like other things are coming out. Gears Remaster is in like a week and a half. And then, you know, a month and a half-ish after that, there's Battlefield 6. And then another month after that, there's Black Ops 7. Like, we got plenty of games. Let's just wait. And I was like, you know what? You right. I'll wait. It's already so cheap. I was going to impulse purchase it, but she talked me down. And she was right. We got so many games. She was absolutely right. Just gonna keep coming out? Yeah, but there will be a period where it's not stuff that we're like actively interested in or playing, right? It happens all the time. Like right now, there's so much coming out that I want to play, but rewind to a year ago and I was like, yeah, even with you know, how much I try to keep up with, like all the different franchises I try to keep up with. Like there's just nothing coming out right now that really has my attention, which is fine. It gave me more time to just do like Armored Core, Ace Combat, Metal Gear. I started up Resi and Yakuza because I just had so much time. But now stuff is coming out again. But we'll hit another lull where stuff isn't coming out that I want to play. Right? It comes and goes. This bit sucks. This room with the Bandersnatch in like every other box. But yeah, that's the thing, is we have a lot of games that we're playing that even aren't new games, like Diablo and Borderlands and Gears and all that. Well, Gears has a new game, just happens to be. But like we have other stuff that we're playing that's not even new that we're still trying to work through. It's like we don't need to pick up Warhammer on release. Because the next PlayStation will be about to come out by the end of 27 or early 28. I do think the next PlayStation will probably be like holidays 27. That would be my guess. And yeah, we played the tabletop a total of like 3 or 4 times because it takes so long. True. Never finished a series yet. It's true. It's true. $30% off if you have the anniversary or something edition. Yeah, it's on like a discount. That's the version that I'm talking about, by the way, because I have the original Dawn of War on Steam. And if you do, get a discounted price. But that discounted price is the $30 one. 30 US dollars. Obviously, regional pricing is a thing, but it's 30 US dollars for the discounted Dawn of War Definitive Edition. And it's $3, or sorry, it's 10% off. So it's $27 right now. I can wait. I can wait for it to be cheaper. I was gonna ask if you were close to being done, then I remembered you died. Yep. I have 1 jewel. This map is a real bitch. The Gundam card game is fire. Is it like a video game card game? Like how Magic has like Steam games? Because I didn't hear about this. Cole just has hyperfixations. It's true. I get excited about a series for one reason or another, and then I'm like, we're playing it. We're playing it. And she's gotten to the point where every time I do it now, she's like, okay, calm down. Think about this. Think now. Stop. Just slow down. And it's reasonable. And then it's just like with the new stuff, it's what's it? It's like we're just getting constant side quests on top of all of these main quests that I've started up lately, right? Because then it's like, oh, the Battlefield 6 beta just started. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have to play the Battlefield 6 beta, but like they have these cosmetics if I do the challenges right now during the beta. And those cosmetics are beta exclusive. Like if I have them when the full game comes out, then everyone knows that I'm a fucking baller who completed every challenge in the beta. So like I need those, obviously. And then Gears Reloaded is gonna come out a week and a half from now. And I'm gonna be like, all right, Desi, it's time to learn how to play Gears of War multiplayer. This shit's gonna put hair on your chest. Come on. We're doing it. It is the possible autism. No official diagnosis, because I don't feel the need to get screened. It wouldn't have any impact on my life to know one way or the other. But I see it in myself sometimes. Yeah. Not enough to self-diagnose it, but definitely this is one of those moments where you could probably see where I'm sometimes like, oh, maybe. It might be true. Well, I guess maybe it would make a difference in my life if I got screened for it and ended up having it. Because then I could make autism jokes about myself on stream and no one could get mad at me because I actually have autism. And that could be funny. I'll think about it as a business decision. It's a business move, doctor. I need to know for my business. Just day in the life with undiagnosed autism, bro. Honestly, you're right. Like, I feel like the way that people are now, they just don't even care if you actually got diagnosed or not. I've done that rant before about the VTuber that I came across on social media randomly that I sent to false because their like whole shtick as a creator was that they talked about their undiagnosed autism. And like, here's what life is like for me with undiagnosed autism. And I'm like, we can just do that now? Like, we can just talk about it as if we have it, even if we don't actually know if we have it? Since when? Some countries don't always like taking in diagnosed people if you try to go anywhere else. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. That is something to legitimately consider. Well, hello, Brisket. In the process of going through an ADHD diagnosis. That could be so huge. I am diagnosed with ADHD. I do have that legitimately diagnosed. And I don't take the meds for it. I stopped taking them a long time ago. Because I hated them. Holy fuck, I hated them. But that can be a really big one. Even just for like being able to understand when that's the problem, right? Just having that, like, for me, I'm at that point where I and people around me catch glimpses where it's like, maybe that is autism, but it would be mild enough to the point where, like, you know, it wouldn't really give me any peace of mind to get an official diagnosis, which is why I've never tried to or screened for it or anything. Because if it is there, it's mild, frankly. But, what's it? What was I saying? Oh yeah, ADHD was bad for me. And it does bring me peace of mind to just be able to be like, oh yeah, I'm having this problem, but it's because of this thing. Like, I know why I have this problem. It's okay that I have this problem. It's fine. I hated the drugs for ADHD too here. Bro, they're so bad. Like, they're just, I hate them. I hate them. I wouldn't recommend them unless, like, you really feel like you need them. And even then, I felt like I really needed them, but then I started taking them and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I went back. I was like, you know what? I could just raw dog it. I don't need these, actually. Turns out, I'm good. And I have just learned how to raw dog it. Ours are different in the UK from what I understand. I think they're pretty similar between the US and the UK. I know ADHD meds vary a lot in a lot of countries because a lot of ADHD meds are actually, well, they're classified. This is wild to say if you have not been granted this knowledge prior. A lot of ADHD meds are legally classified as like microdosing methamphetamines because they actually are. Like the meds that I was prescribed, a lot of like if I tried to travel internationally to a lot of different places, they wouldn't let me bring it in. Like the meds would not make it through customs because they're classified as meth. But I don't think the UK is one of those countries. I think you guys have a lot of the same stuff that we do. I love legalized meth. It is a microdose. It's obviously not the same as like smoking meth, but there's a little bit of, there is a little bit in there. There is a little bit. It zombifies you. If you don't have it, you get cracked out. Yeah, it's bad. I did not fuck with that at all. I'll keep my disease raw. No, I was just like, can I just like figure out ways to make it work without it? Because after I started taking it, I was like, there's no way. I can't. I have about 8 weeks to wait for an assessment. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sorry, UK joke. Yeah. Wait. Am I on the other side or have I been here? Fuck this map. I don't actually know. It seems like I've been here. This room is empty. At least it's fun. No. Like it basically just mellows you out. And it's kind of weird to explain how the meds work because it sounds counterintuitive, but I guess the best way that I could explain it is that most of the symptoms, like the negative symptoms from ADHD, actually come from your brain being understimulated and struggling to deal with that. So ADHD meds mellow you out, but they're stimulants, because all that they're doing is giving you that little bit that you need to reach like a normal, like kind of neutral state, if that makes sense. They're kind of bringing you back up to where you should be, but then by doing that, it also, it kind of numbs you, despite being a stimulant. It's really difficult to explain. And I've circled. Love this map. And then, yeah, if you don't get it, you start getting withdrawal because of what's in it. It also makes you somewhat of an addict. Yeah, you get withdrawal symptoms from it. Like bad withdrawal symptoms from it. If you don't take it as regularly as you're supposed to. And for reference, it's weird to explain because I don't even fully understand it. I basically got the gist of it that the doctor explained. And don't really understand the nuance beyond that. There's number 4. Horrified right now. What the actual fuck? It's wild. It's good that you stopped them. Well, for some people, like, they're way better off on them than not. For me, that wasn't the case. For me, it really wasn't the case. But most of the negative symptoms from ADHD don't even come from the understimulation itself. It's more the things that it does to your brain when, like, for example, you're so understimulated that your brain kind of like fries out, like kind of just doesn't, it kind of shuts down, and you just can't really do anything. Like, you struggle to bring yourself to do literally anything because you're so, like, your brain literally just burns out on it. And then you have like very little willpower to actually try to do anything. And then say like you work a job or you're in school or whatever, and so you can't get your work done because your brain like literally has just burnt itself out and you like don't have the mental bandwidth anymore to do anything. And then because you can't do anything, you go for a period of time where you don't do anything, and then afterwards you start beating yourself up because you didn't do anything, and now even more has piled up, so it gets even harder to do. So it's less even from the understimulation itself and more just what comes from that. Ow. Different for everybody. And I think there's like 15 different types of medication. There are a lot of them. I know a lot of people that go on medication for a while to regain executive function to build habits, and then they can slowly stop once they get those habits down. Yeah. I kind of fucked that up. I think that was the plan for me initially. I don't really know what my doctor was trying to do, but I kind of got on them, hated them, went back off of them, and then started building the habits to be able to function in spite of it. I kind of fucked that process, but I'm pretty sure that was the plan for me. Only now that I realize that because I want to do something, I'm running into these issues. Yeah. The best Resident Evil. It's true. This is the best one, right, chat? This is the best one. The worst part is you know you're completely capable. Yeah, that's the thing that I mentioned about, like, you start beating yourself up about it. Because you know that it shouldn't be a problem. But it is a problem. Rather have a permanent fix. Yeah, I don't take any medication. I'm kind of similar. I definitely, I believe that some people do need it because it is like the case of, you know, everyone, even with the same like diagnosis, is a different person and will have slightly different variations of whatever they have. Like my ADHD won't be the same as everyone else's ADHD. So it kind of depends person to person, but personally, I try to avoid it. This game looks like one of the games of all time. That is a great description. Except for it is also the greatest Resident Evil game of all time, and everyone agrees. No one disagrees, ever. Nope. No. Not one person disagrees. This is the GOAT. They've never made a better Resident Evil game. If you find someone who disagrees, they're either lying to you or they're a fake fan, obviously. Obviously. Up there with 6 and ORC, it really is. It is genuine. It's all the way up there. Umbrella Corps, even. It's even better than Umbrella Corps, which I know is really hard to be, but it is. It is. God, that was a dark period of Resident Evil. That was... It was brutal being a fan during that, like, 5-year span. Or no, it was 4 years, wasn't it? Because Umbrella Corps was 2016. I guess it was 5 years because 7 didn't come out until 2017. So yeah, that 5-year period where we got, like, ORC... followed by RE6, and then Revelations 2 was in there, which was pretty all right. Into Umbrella Corps, and the whole time, mind you, Capcom is publicly stating over and over again, they're like, yeah, the action horror approach is like the future of this franchise. This is where the money lays for Resident Evil. This is where Resident Evil is gonna stick around. Really, this is gonna be the future of the franchise. It's stuff like ORC, RE6, and Umbrella Corps. And we were all just like, oh my god. That horrendous shooter? Yeah, the what's it? The attempted Resident Evil esports game was Umbrella Corps, yeah. RE4 gave them that confidence? I think so too. I do think a lot of that was RE4 just had them thinking for years, and then RE5's sales also. Because RE5 was a surprisingly cheap development, not like cheap, but RE5 cost a lot less for them to produce than you might think it did. So the profit margin on RE5, with that game still to this day being the most high-selling Resident Evil game, just in terms of copies sold, I think RE4 into RE5 really made them think that, like, ORC and RE6 were just, you know, minor road bumps along the way and not indications of, like, the general trend of the series. If that makes sense. RE4 gave them the confidence, 5 gave them the numbers. Yeah. Yeah. And then that's kind of the confusing part. RE7 to me, like looking back on it and being in that time period in the review series where like I'm going back and doing all this research again. And Capcom is basically up until like 2016 publicly stating that the future of the franchise lays in action horror. But then, like, for a lot of the time that they're publicly saying that, like when they're saying that in 2015, they're also simultaneously developing Resident Evil 7. It's very confusing. Just that timeline where I'm like, what? Were they just poker facing? Or like what was the deal with that? Like, I really don't get it. I genuinely, I just don't understand why they were saying those things that would obviously alienate their core audience so much. Meanwhile, they're making a game that is exactly what their core audience wants, but then lying to them and saying that they're not making that game and that they're making more action horror stuff instead. And it's so weird. I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around why you would do that. Somewhere in development changed their mind. It's possible. But again, like, literally months leading up to the reveal of RE7, they were still saying it publicly. So they couldn't have turned it around that fast. Unless they were just fucking cracked out of their minds that year and somehow managed to turn it around that fast. By like a miracle, right? It's so, like, that whole timeline doesn't make much sense to me. And just the PR strategy makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, the hype thing for the kitchen VR project that they didn't announce was RE7. Just that whole time. They're like, yeah, the future of the series is action horror. While behind the scenes, they're shifting like all of their focus back into survival horror. They barely broke even with that game. Yeah. I get so many comments on the RE6 video. I regret not bringing Capcom's statements about the game and its success into that video so much, because the RE6 video did well on release and now is doing even better. Like, it's hitting an upwards curve slowly where it progressively is snowballing and getting like more and more views each day. And I get so many comments on that video because of the title and like the intro of people being like, clearly this game could not have nearly killed the series because it sold really well. It sold like 10 million copies. But they spent so much money on that game, and Capcom publicly has said like Resident Evil 6 barely made profit. And the initial loss on RE6, because obviously it did eventually break even and make profit, but only a few years after its initial release. That initial loss that they took on RE6 was so drastic that it changed Capcom's entire business strategy and development model for all of its franchises, not just Resident Evil. Like, they've talked about this publicly, but a lot of people are just like, it sold like 11 million copies though, so it did great. It was a huge success. Like, completely ignoring the budget and all of Capcom's very public talks about how much of a disaster that game actually was for them. I really wish that I had put something like either in the middle of the video or near the end, probably, like circling back to that and talking about like the long-term effect of RE6. Because I get that comment constantly, and it's driving me crazy, but I'm just not the guy who likes to argue in my own comment sections. It's a waste of time. So I just don't do it, because I know it's not going to go anywhere. Bring it up during the RE7 video. That's probably the time to do it, but then I'm still going to get them on the RE6 video, but I guess for the sake of the whole series, it could be fine. The long-term effect was the new golden age. Yeah, not just of RE either. Like the whole all of Capcom like went into its golden age because of RE6. So there is that to talk about for sure. Do you also think Alien Isolation's success kind of inspired them for 7? Like they saw Isolation and said, let's go back to basics? Maybe? Maybe. Because 7 did spend about 5 years in development, which up to that point, RE games did not take 5 years to develop. Like historically, the only one that took about that long was RE4, and RE4 famously has like 4 different known builds. And you know, that's not including shit that never made the light of day or just hasn't been talked about in interviews. So RE7 probably did go through multiple design concepts before landing on what it did. And we know now that RE9 has taken so long as well because RE9 went through multiple design concepts. They didn't talk about it like on the main stage shows yet, and I don't think they probably ever will. But if you guys went and looked at those developer diaries that they published after we saw the last trailer for RE9, like the full versions, they talk in there and show footage of those builds. RE9 was going to be an over-the-shoulder action horror game with 2-player co-op, similar to like RE5 or RE6. RE9 started its development under that concept, but they ended up scrapping it. I wonder why. It's actually really cool. So the leaks were real? Yeah. The leaks about the game being like an action horror co-op game similar to 5 or 6 were absolutely real. They just scrapped those builds and started it up again, saying, no, let's slow it back down and just do like the RE7 thing again. Let's go back to that kind of style. Like new character, new location. Sort of. New location in the ruins of Raccoon City. Even then, maybe not for the whole game. It's hard to say because that hotel seems pretty pristine for having been through a nuking. I'm just saying. I think odds are pretty good that that hotel is not actually in Raccoon City. You know, call me a tinfoil hat here, but I'm just saying. That hotel doesn't seem like it got nuked. I'm just bringing it up. I brought it up before because I look at the footage they've shown and they're like, oh yeah, we're going back to Raccoon City, and they show it, and certainly at some point we will be. But that hotel doesn't look like it's in Raccoon City, like at all. Raccoon City is like rubble and, you know, like empty shells of buildings that remain. The hotel is very intact. Hotel is where she'll get rescued by Leon. Something that actually made me so happy yesterday was one of the ROE guys tweeted about Dusk Golem, and I have never felt so validated in my fucking life to have someone on the team of the like biggest Resident Evil YouTube channel there is come out on Twitter and be like, you guys, we need to talk about, we should not put much faith in Dusk Golem's leaks anymore. And I was like, hallelujah, thank God someone else is saying it, because holy shit. Oh, I thought I was going crazy over here. Because it's true. He's gotten a couple leaks right. But he has historically gotten like 90% of them wrong. And it kind of feels like he just throws shit at the wall, and then when stuff sticks, like that 10% that is right, like Resident Evil Village having werewolves in it, when that was real, everyone was like, oh my god, he really did know all along. And it's like, maybe he did. He also had like 10 other leaks about Village that weren't true, but maybe he knew all along. Sure. He's lost his credibility. Yeah, he's also been leaking for like the last year and a half that what's it? He's been leaking multiple times that Silent Hill 2 Remake is getting a Maria DLC. I can't remember the name of Maria's campaign from 2. Something in Heaven. Made in Heaven, Born in Heaven, something. I don't remember exactly. He's been saying that that's coming soon for like a year and a half. And it hasn't happened yet. Born from a Wish. Where was I getting Heaven? Born from a Wish. I got Born. Heaven's Night is the nightclub. Okay. Okay. He's a plant to intentionally deflect, but he's allowed to be right. To be rarely right, to give him credibility as a supposed leaker. Oh, maybe. Did you hear that Ashley from RE4 will be the main playable character in Requiem? Mods, take his Battlefield 6 server connection away. Take it from him. Disconnect him from the servers right now. EA will do it themselves anyway, probably. I'd be happy with her returning. I sent False a meme recently. Someone made this amazing meme of like a Resident Evil endgame scenario during the finale of RE9, where it's not just like Leon showing up to save her. Like it starts with Leon showing up for the final boss fight, but then he's like, yeah, and I brought backup. And then like Chris and Jill appear, and then Claire appears, and Barry appears, and then fucking Wesker appears, and Chris and Wesker start beefing, but Wesker's like, no, I'm actually pretty chill now. I had a lot of time to think in that volcano. We're good. And then it keeps going, and it's like every Resident Evil character showing up, and they labeled it like RE9 Requiem leaked ending. Did you show me this? No, I sent you the leak, but you were sick at the time. It was the day that you had a 102 fever, so you might not have opened it and watched it. I would not be surprised if you missed it, but I did send it to you. I didn't show it to you though, no. Damn straight I didn't. 102 fever is the good one. Those are fun. Bro, she got up to 102.7 at one point. And 103 is like the point that you're supposed to go to the hospital. So I was kind of sitting there like, uh-oh. I thought I was gonna have to be like, all right, you need to get up and drive to the hospital. That would have been a shit show. That would have been just the worst. $104 is the most sick I've ever been, and guess what? I didn't go. Lord above. Maybe a doctor would have been good. Hey, we're in the US, okay? We don't go until we're like 1 degree off of dying. That's just what we do here. Because otherwise, we go into debt for 5 years. Oh my god, this is the... Where is the 5th gem? America. Damn right. At least ours is free for now. Yeah, I would be counting your days in the UK at this rate. I'll be so real with you guys. I would be counting your days of free healthcare the way things have been going over there. That's why you have your emergency funds. Oh, I have a big emergency fund. I'm like paranoid about spending money. False, on the other hand, has good savings, just not like I have like genuine paranoia savings. Outing me? You do have a good, like, a pretty good emergency fund in that one account. But, what's it? It's not like I could use my emergency fund to put a down payment on a house. It's more than an emergency fund at this point. Scotland forever. I'm not doing the accent, but I know the reference. The English are the Florida man of Europe. I can kind of see that, actually, now that you say it. I can actually see that. Down payment on a house, you say? Yeah. Genuinely. I don't want to use it for that. $1 million? Bro, I am 23 years old and self-employed. Where do you think $1 million is coming from? Tax evasion? I wish. I get taxed out of the ass. I get self-employment tax. I get capital gains tax. Self-employment tax, if you didn't know, is mega fucked. I live in Minnesota, so our state tax is really bad because Minnesota's leadership is very irresponsible with spending money, like incredibly irresponsible. It's honestly the worst part of living in this state is the state taxes. It's fucking crazy. I'm so poor I'm under the tax bracket. You guys want to know when you start paying income tax as a sole proprietor, self-employment tax? Do you guys know how much money you have to make in a year to start paying on on self-employment? In the US, that is. Does anyone know the number? I wish. I wish it was even relatively possible to be below the bracket. Oh, false, you're ruining it. It's $600. If you make any more than $600 a year on self-employment, you get income taxed. Obviously, you know it, False. Come on. $600 is insane. I know. A year? Yes, a year. If you make more than 600 in a year, you go into the lowest tax bracket immediately. I thought I was part of this quiz. It's fine. It's fine. Hot Sauce got it anyway. What? Why? I don't know. Like, if you just have a more standard job, you don't start paying income tax until... what is it, chat? What is the threshold? I forget. I haven't worked minimum wage since high school, so I forget this number. I haven't needed to know it for a while. So if you make $1.50 a day, you get taxed. Yes. Quick math. I feel like it's like 12K. I want to say that's right. I think it is like 10 to 12-ish, give or take. I think it is somewhere in that ballpark for like a normal job. But then if it's self-employment, anything $600 or more. So yeah, I wish. Like, if I have a side gig, make $600 at some point in the year, I have to report that on my income tax too. It's almost as if the system is broken and they want you to be a wage slave. No. No. What? No. What are you talking? No. Come on. Come on. If you only make $600, what do they take from you? It puts you into the lowest tax bracket, so hold on. 2024, what was it? So $600 or more, they would have taken 10%. So if you made, assuming you literally made exactly $600, for sake of example, they would have taken $60 at the end of the year in taxes. And because self-employment, you don't get like a standard, whatever the tax document is. Again, I haven't seen one in like years, I'm sorry. You end up paying your taxes in one big chunk at the end of the year, or you can pay it in 4 big chunks that you pay once every 3 months. It depends. I do mine every 3 months now. Now I do mine every 3 months. But this last year for 2024, I didn't. So I paid all of my income tax for last year in one go. And I had to pay thousands of dollars on my taxes on one day. And that hurt. That hurt. Very not fun. Would not recommend. Every 3 months sounds a lot more sensible. Yeah, I had to do that this year, and then I said, you know what? I'll start doing the quarterly payments, actually. I was like, I can do that. I think I understand the Texas plane guy. I don't make enough for taxes. Yeah, Jess, what I was just talking about is if you're self-employed or a contractor in the US, you start paying income tax at $600 a year or more. If you make at least $600 in a year, then you start getting taxed at minimum 10%. in the US. That's how this came up. Good old America, ain't it? Yeah. Yeah. My minimum as sole trader is the same as minimum taxable for someone employed by a company. Yeah, that's not the case here. I wonder what that means for like if I had a contractor in the UK, I wonder how I would have to report that on my taxes. Because I've never had to report a contractor from the UK, because when Tom helped me out with stuff, it was never enough to be more than 600 a year. So I don't know what that would actually look like. Like when Tom was doing thumbnails and stuff, I never had to pay him more than 600 a year. I earn the maximum amount I can before I lose Kara's allowance. So all my earnings are non-taxable. Crazy. They would have to declare their income locally in the UK. Would they? Because I don't know. I know I would have to report it as well, because you just have to report contractors past a certain point. I think the same threshold, I think it is 600 a year. But yeah, I don't know what you would have to do on your end then. If hypothetically in the UK, you get what I'm saying. I can't find this last jewel. I'm running in circles. I can't find it. I have a new idea though. I'd have to report it in the UK. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I confused myself. No, now that I'm yeah. There might be some employer taxes. Yeah. Countries be scamming their own citizens. True. Yeah, as an expense, exactly. I get scammed all the time. But I also am allowed to trade on the stock market as a trade-off. Which, once you learn how to use it, it's like a financial cheat code, basically. So, fair trade. And then capital gains tax is super high, but I'll still take that trade. Bro, I got 10 minutes. Even if you move out, you still have to pay taxes to Uncle Sam. It's true. This is a true fact. Yeah, the only way that you end up not paying taxes within the US, even if you move abroad, if you live abroad, is if you relinquish your citizenship. You have to fully give up your citizenship in the US to not pay taxes in the US. Ah, shit. How do I get out? That is a wild sacrifice. Exactly. You guys have to pay a lot to get rid of your citizenship? You do. That is also a fun part of it, isn't it? Costs 10,000 to do? I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was like 2 or 3,000 from memory. Is it 10? I just Googled. Uncle Sam ain't been relevant since Britain slapped him up in 76 and 1812. Hey, you know how many people Uncle Sam got to enlist in World War II? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sources say 2350. Okay, okay. I was like, is it $10,000? Still too much. To leave, to like, you know, disconnect yourself. They're like, all right, exit fee. Come on. Come on. Uncle Sam owes his freedom to the French. What is this, fucking Adobe? I see it. It got held, but I see it. Yeah, the Adobe cancellation fee. That's also fucked. I hate Adobe so much. I seriously, like, I'm so happy to not be an Adobe product user. Fuck Adobe. Fuck them. They don't even have the best editor anymore. They don't. They don't even have the best video editor anymore. Maybe if they still had that. Maybe. But even then, I probably wouldn't, because fuck Adobe. I got the power of... what's it? What is the best editor? Real question. You'll get different answers from a lot of people. Personally, especially from a... like, if you're adding in the factor when talking about, like, Adobe and shit. If you're adding in financial factor, I am a strong believer in and advocate for DaVinci Resolve. A DaVinci Resolve, fantastic editor. You can use it for free, and it has like 90% of its features available, and the 10% that aren't available, you will almost never use unless you're doing really fancy shit with your editing. Like mega fancy shit. And even then, I have the premium version. Do you know how much DaVinci costs, chat? $300 for the premium version. One-time payment, it's a lifetime purchase. You get the paid version of the software forever for one $300 payment. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, even if you do need the premium version is like the cheapest premium editor on the market right now. I can't take it seriously while you're saying DaVinci. It's DaVinci or nothing. It is DaVinci. Members update? Yeah, on the video. It came up only because I forgot to post an update earlier in the week like I meant to. Because of you. Anyway. You blamed me, I did. Yeah. Wow. I was busy. It slipped my mind. I forgot to write an update on the video. It happens. It happens. Do people think Scotland isn't in the UK? No, it's in the UK, but Scotland and England are different. And Americans also, and I do it a lot, use England and UK interchangeably. Sometimes. I do it a lot. I say UK when I mean England. And I mean, I'm basically right because England is like 99% of the UK, but you know, I'm not perfectly correct. A lot of Scottish people wish they weren't part of the UK, to be fair. True. Could be worse. You could be living in Wales. How did I get back here? Wales is super pretty in certain places. Not the trying to defend Wales, but then also adding in certain places. I mean, it's true. I didn't say it's not true. Just, it's funny. It's funny. Wales don't have their own culture. They have their own culture. They have never mind. Hey. Caught myself. Sheep shagging is Scottish. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're lying to me. I've only ever heard it for Wales. Americans know that? Of course we know that. It's very Welsh? Okay. It was a term to insult us first. It became Welsh later on. Really? Hence why they steal other cultures. Fair. Fair. Wait, what is that? God. All difficulties, including 4, reboot, and 5. I was working on it, but DMC2 was so bad that it made me stop as soon as I had the opportunity to. But I was almost... I did S-rank all of the original game. I double S-ranked all of DMC3 on normal. And I was like halfway through all S-ranks on DMC2 when I stopped. And those are the harder games. Those 3 are all harder than 4, reboot, and 5 for S ranks. because their criteria is way stricter. DMC 2 needs to be finished. No. Am I going backwards? We love them really though, do you? I can't tell. There have been some DMC 1 and 3 remake rumors. Yeah, I don't really believe them, but I've heard them. I think I am gonna die via timer. Part Scottish and Irish anyway. I'm half Irish and American. So, hating the...
$10 to finish Duke 2.
I almost did it again. Hating England is in my blood. I'm predestined for it. You know, it's no offense to the English. It's just... Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, we hate you too. I'm sorry. I'm predisposed to it. I am. Like, doubly so. I can't help it. Don't even get paid for this shit. You're supposed to break the cycle. No, I was never the chosen one. Never. I'm absolutely gonna die to the timer. 2 needs to be remade because 2, yeah. I would love a DMC 1 remake that just like fixes up that story a little bit to match the lore that we got later. And obviously just smoother, more modern DMC mechanics in DMC 1 would be awesome. What are you actually doing? I have to find all 5 gems that are hidden in the map before I can enter the boss fight and complete the level. But this map makes no sense, and I feel like I'm walking through the same rooms endlessly. And I have 4 out of the 5 gems. So I'm trapped here until I can get the other ones. Or sorry, until I can get the last one, rather. Not even other ones, just the last one. Addressing where the fuck Lady is since she was supposedly around by then. True. To an American YouTuber, I've failed them. What do the Scottish have against America? We're like, we both hate England. We both have beef with England. You know what? You got a point. I don't see the problem here. United by hate. I think there are like 7 different metal songs on my playlist that all have that exact title. Ever watch Dungeon Meshi? I have not heard of this. What is Dungeon Meshi? No. Oh my god, I'm back here. Why? Who doesn't have beef with England, though? The royal family, probably. And maybe like 2 other people. England has David Bowie. You know, England has great music historically. I still feel like I'm running in circles. For the record. Yeah, I literally just went in a circle. I'm back. Oh boy. But they have terrible rappers. I would agree with that as well. Ah, shit. UK drill is ass. I'm not big on UK drill. Although I've kind of just gotten out of rap music entirely. I used to listen to a lot of it. But I've just kind of gone further and further back into my heavy metal shell. I don't need anything else. There's so much variety within metal. I don't even need to venture out, really. I did for a bit. Now I don't need anything else. Favorite bands at the moment? Like... my favorite bands in general, I gotta think of ones with different styles instead of just going all groove metal, because I would. In general, I'm really big on Slipknot. Has always been my favorite, just always. Avenged Sevenfold and System of a Down. Like, those are historically, for at least like the last 10 plus years, I just keep listening to those 3, like regardless of whatever else I'm listening to. I have heard Chop Suey, but everything is table, yes. But like right now, like just more recently, a lot of Ginger, Jinjer. A lot of, well, Meshuggah I also have listened to a lot historically, but recently I've been very into Meshuggah again. Arch Enemy is great. I love Arch Enemy. Almost entirely because of Alyssa Whiteglass's voice. Because holy shit. Spirit Box I like. A lot. Alyssa is kind of my dream woman. I feel that. I completely understand, actually. I've not heard of Alpha Wolf, actually. I feel like normally with metal stuff I have, but no. I gotta open it on Spotify so that I remember later to check it out. Actually, hold on. If I have Spotify open, pause. Let me just go to my liked songs recently. Oh, I've actually been listening to a lot of older stuff again. I can't believe I didn't think to mention this. Particularly, I've been listening to a lot of Judas Priest and Iron Maiden again lately. But more contemporary stuff, which is primarily what I'm into, although I do like the classics. Can't believe I didn't think of Dark Tranquillity. They kick ass. Smaller band, I believe, called the Black Crown Initiate. They've got some pretty fucking cool stuff. Soilwork. A lot of Soilwork lately. Oh, Pantera. Holy shit, how did I not mention Pantera? That's like a 10+ year one. That's like just historically, I always go back to Pantera. Always. Like, without fail, I find my way back to Pantera consistently. Quite some Swedish mellow death. What, Soilwork? I think they are Swedish, actually. Shout outs to the Broly movie. Yeah, the Broly movie having 10s in it. I have a mod in my Sparking Zero because I play on PC, thank God. Sparking Zero mods go such a long way. I have a mod in my Sparking Zero, and my buddy that I play it with, and we just fuck around on it, also has the same one. Where we put the song 10s by Pantera into the game as a track. So when one of us whips out Z Broly, we can have 10s playing in as like the music track. It's great. It's so fun. I love that I said Pantera and just immediately got shout out Broly movie in chat. Ow. Bro, what was with the old Dragon Ball Z movies and having like contemporary metal in them in the English dubs, and only in the English dubs? Like, the Cooler movie, the first Cooler movie has fucking Deftones in it. Which is hilarious. And great. It works great. But, like, it's so weird that they used to do that. It was awesome, though. They just got licensed, like, contemporary metal music for the old Dragon Ball Z movies. Only for the English dubs. Those songs weren't in any other versions of the movie. They would just be in the English dubs. It was awesome. Informed me of the existence of American Pearl. Yes, I forgot. I always just think of Deftones being in that movie, but you're right. Surprised Guns N' Roses hasn't been brought up yet. I like Guns N' Roses. Oh, which movie had Drowning Pool? Shit. Was it the Cooler movie? It couldn't have been the Cooler movie as well. It wasn't that stacked, was it? It was the Cooler movie? Holy shit. I don't remember it being this stacked. I haven't watched it in a long time, to be fair. Trunks movie had Dream Theater, that's true. I forget about that one. Yeah, I don't know what was up with Dragon Ball Z and just licensing metal music at that point in time, but it was awesome. The reveal of legendary Super Saiyan Broly while they're blasting Pantera along with it is awesome. It's so good. They probably thought it was cooler than the Kikuchi scores. They were right. they were absolutely right. But Kikuchi did great stuff too, but like, yeah. Hit so well too, it did. It felt so natural in that scene. Like, Deftones in the Cooler movie feels a little more out of place to me, which is probably why it stands out so much when I think back on them licensing all that music. But the Broly one fit so well. Yeah, Solid State Scouter is great. That's one of the only things that I would have wanted to be done better from the Super Broly movie. I wish that we got to see more of Bardock's stand against Frieza and had Solid State Scouter in it. Even though I think Bardock's theme in Super is better, it would have been great if we could have both. I would have loved just to get more of that reanimated with Solid State Scouter playing. Would have been awesome. I have to show False the old, just that piece of the old Broly, or sorry, of the old Bardock special. Only because she's seen the Broly movie. And I told her when we watched it, I was like, yeah, this whole thing with Bardock fighting them, this was like redone from an old TV special that was great. They barely show any of it here. I wish we got more of it. I should show her that. You know any good places to watch Dragon Ball, like the original? I know Funimation has it. But there are also places. Hulu isn't in the UK? But Funimation has it because Funimation does the Dragon Ball dubs. They're like the, well, they became like the main dubs for OG and Dragon Ball Z after a lot of different dubs. Oh, did they merge with Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll has it? I don't know these things. I'm not a huge anime watcher. I haven't rewatched OG Dragon Ball since like 2021 was the last time I rewatched it like in full. It's probably about that time to do it again, right, False? Sorry, we have The Boys. We have not watched The Boys all the way. My bad. My bad. I gotta slow down. Again. At this point, we need to start The Boys over again. No, don't they have like a previously on? Where we can pick it back up? See, and like we say this, we start talking. This is what happens, chat, right? We talk like right now where we're like, oh yeah, we gotta get back on watching The Boys because it's been so long. Like we gotta get back on it. And then like we're gonna hang out, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, that Battlefield beta, and we're gonna play that until it's like midnight. And then I'm gonna be like, well, The Boys next time, surely. I always tear up at some parts of OG Dragon Ball, like the Baba tournament. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in OG Dragon Ball, man. It's a shame that so many people skip it. Well, it's, of course, like, not people's faults that they end up skipping it. Unless you know that you shouldn't. And then, you know, you skip it anyway. That's a whole different case. But for most people, it was like, oh yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Z when it was like airing on network TV when I was a kid, and they didn't air OG Dragon Ball because it wasn't popular in the West. People liked Dragon Ball Z because it was cool and had big fights and lasers and rock music. But OG Dragon Ball is great. I'd rather we watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I still haven't watched that either. That's another one that I keep forgetting I'm supposed to watch someday. Oh, and I probably, instead of Dragon Ball, I need to rewatch Fist of the North Star at least a bit. Because I'm gonna play the RGG game at some point. If you need me, just go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, turn off the lights, and say Big Wig 3 times, and I will appear. Good to know. We'll see you around, Wig. OG Dragon Ball is so peak outside of Roshi being a legend. Hey. We love Roshi in this house. He's funny. Creepy, but funny. He's funny. I'm a Roshi fan. I can't lie. He's too funny for me not to be a fan. Questionable at times, but it was the 80s in Japan, and it was a whole different thing. Very different than now. How many more Chaos Emeralds? Well, we timed out on the last one. So 3. I have 2 out of 5 so far. People saying Kanye made Graduation. Okay, he's not Kanye though. He's not that bad. Come on now. We're not talking Kanye levels here. You have some sort of map for this? No. No, of course not. There's no resources for this game out there. He was moving so tough during Tournament of Power, though, I can't lie. True. Roshi's still got it, dude. I'm telling you. He's great. He was a staple on my Sparking Zero team when I climbed the S rank. He was like my hard anchor. Because he's actually kind of goated in Sparking Zero. Which is crazy. You wouldn't think he is, but full power Roshi on Sparking is crazy. You've been making your own? Not for this map, no. This is a new map. This game makes me want to play something else. Bro, this game makes me want to play anything else. I will be so real with you. I'll be so real. How many DP is he? 2. Full power Roshi is 2 DP. 2. And he's good. Okay, maybe not DMC2. Maybe not. Does this game make you want to play Survivor 1? Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not anything else. Thank you for the sub, though. I appreciate it. Maybe not anything. But even after they adjusted the power scaling in the recent sparking patch, Roshi still, the thing with full power Roshi is his defense stat is so high because he's just bulk. He's just like pure bulk in that form. So he's a bit of a tank. Not like the tankiest character in the game. Like he's not as tanky as like a Raccoon or a Spopovich, but he's pretty fucking tanky. And his combo strings are so slow and like oddly paced that even Z rank players have a really hard time super countering him. So if you start getting back shots with Roshi, they're just eating this massive combo. They gotta hold it. No one can fucking super counter Roshi. It's crazy. So even though his power scaling got adjusted to where like higher DP characters hit harder and take less damage compared to lower DP now, he's still good. Not good enough for me to run him. My team, since they increased the power scaling, has been, well, it was, Gogeta and Ultra Instinct. Just those two. And I was doing great with those two. But then False, when I was playing with those two, was like, I like Vegito more. So I went to switch it. And I was like, okay, same thing, but like the parallels. So I did Vegito and Jiren. And Vegito and Jiren, I fuck with way more. And I've just been running those two. And winning. I haven't been playing as much though. So I'm only in the S ranks right now. But just those two are all I need. Just rotating Jiren and Vegito is crazy. It's honestly kind of fucked how good just that two-man team is. I fuck with Water Vegeta, to be honest. Water Vegeta's the GOAT. Goku and Vegeta fuse and use UI and UE at the same time. Bro, I wish. I wish. We need the Super manga to pick back up again. Like, I know it hasn't been going because Toriyama passed, but like, we got so much to work with in Super right now. Like, we got to keep that ball rolling. Got a Goku Funko Pop thing the other day. He's adorable. Big head Goku. I mean, speaking of Goku, surely anyone in the Discord has noticed my profile lately. And if you haven't, I'll just let it speak for itself. I think they might be giving time out of respect. I think they are. I think it more is from Toyotaro not wanting to continue it. I did notice that. I noticed it. It's great. It's great. I just went to look at it. Yeah. They added like Dragon Ball decorations from Daima to Discord. My buddy Owen has the Vegeta one. The Vegeta pack. Taking time to mourn and whatnot, totally understandable. Yeah, he's doing like appearances, like media appearances and stuff. But he hasn't been writing. If it was up to the editors, he'd have 100 more chapters out by now. True. But there's just like where Super Manga left off, bro, there's just so much that I'm like, we gotta get on this. I need to know where these things go. It's understandable, but I'm waiting. I need more. Like, I want to see... Ow. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. I don't even want to see, like, Goku and Vegeta stuff right now with where the manga's at. I want to see Gohan...
Stick my finger in there. This flap.
I want to see Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly start making some moves. Now that they're all set up to be, like, on par with the other two, who have kind of just been the only two characters in Super so far, if we're being real. I want to see those three start doing things. Now that they're all set up, I want to see where that goes. Like, I'm more excited for those three than anyone's. And Gotenks as well. Yeah, I forget that they just did that one shot. That set up Goten and Trunks to be bigger players going forward too. Piccolo's just gonna end up aura farming instead of actually contributing again. Hey, they gave him that orange form, so like now he can do both. He can aura farm and contribute now that he's got the orange Piccolo. He can do both. I think that was the whole point, actually. I think they were like, we need a form that allows him to have crazy aura and actually contribute at the same time. And that's what they did. I'm pretty sure that just was the discussion internally, surely. Orange Piccolo, when did that happen? Superhero. Dragon Ball Superhero. Best film name of all time. Superhero was so nice. Yeah. And like, Beast Gohan is kind of stupid, kind of came out of nowhere. I won't lie. I have not been the biggest fan of Beast Gohan's introduction. However, it's too cool for me to hate on it for very long. I can't be consistent with my hatred because look at him. Look at him. Like, it might have been the biggest ass pull just to make Gohan relevant again. But I'm not even upset. No Jewel in there? Or Spanish Gohan if you watch Life Arrow. What was it? Gohan Blanco? Fuck. This game. I hate it. I hate this game. I want to clear up that Giga Cell is not an actual name. Yeah, it's Cell Max, which is so much better than Giga Cell. Come on. What'd you think of Majima's introduction scene in Zero? It was the single best scene in the whole game by far. Nuh-uh, yeah, huh? Maybe his scholarly studies flipped a switch in him. Maybe, I don't know. It just, the way that it is right now, it's such a stupid ass pull. But it's fine, I guess. What if they did something crazy where, like, one of these tubes can get blasted open or something? What the fuck is Cell Max? I don't know. I'm gonna shoot at every single one of them now and like hit buttons on them and stuff. I have this idea. It's the series that gave us Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Bro, thank God they actually just started calling it Super Saiyan Blue, like in the series as well. Like, holy shit. It's a miracle that they ended up just adopting the fan name for it. Because, wow. Now that you mention it, speaking of ass pull forms, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. That's a fucking ass pull form. Was them unlocking Super Saiyan Blue off screen in the anime? I don't remember. I think so. I think it was. I feel like I would remember if they fixed that. But no, I think it was off screen. It was off screen in the movie. It was off screen in the manga, I know, and I feel like I would remember it in the anime if they fixed it. But God, I try to forget the retellings of the movies in Super. Those are fucked. I hate those. I really hate those. That's so stupid. I love Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super was a pretty major mess at the start of it. Because like they did the Battle of Gods movie kicked ass, and then they were like, "Oh, people actually like Dragon Ball?" And they tried to salvage a series out of it. Just out of that movie being a thing, and yeah, what a mess. That was a big mess for a while. Named stages like Super Saiyan stage 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is a thing. That is a thing, Hasreal. You see, originally in Dragon Ball Z, they did do that, where it was Super Saiyan, and then we got Super Saiyan 2, like an arc later, and then the next arc we got Super Saiyan 3, and then when they did the movie, they made, well, actually, okay, pause, rewind. Way before the movie, they did a continuation without Toriyama immediately after the Z anime ended called GT, and Dragon Ball GT gave us Super Saiyan 4, right? But then Dragon Ball went dormant for a long time, but came back with the Battle of Gods movie, and Toriyama was involved in that, and it became like a canon continuation off of the end of Z. GT got thrown out, right? And so Toriyama was like Super Saiyan God. And we were all kind of like, okay. It's a, he, you know, he ascends to godhood, gets a form along with it. They just call it Super Saiyan God. Sure. Right? Makes sense. But then they did another movie after that. Also Toriyama, to be fair, he is the guy who did this. This was one of Toriyama's, like, what the fuck moments. Because he had them. I get that he's dead and we don't like to talk about them as much anymore, but, like, he had them. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. It's when they're in the Super Saiyan God form, and then they go Super Saiyan in the Super Saiyan God form. It's a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. And we were all like, okay, what the fuck are we doing now? Collectively, we all just went, what the fuck? And that form, this Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, was also a form that they discovered and developed the technique for off screen, and then just in the movie they randomly turned blue, and we're like, yep, this is what you get. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. And it was like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, Tibby's right. About... It's kind of gone to the point now past what we've now called Super Saiyan Blue, because fuck saying Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan when talking about it. Beyond Super Saiyan Blue, everyone has started moving more towards developing techniques rather than evolving the Super Saiyan forms, right? So, like, everyone is getting forms that are no longer tied to progressing the Super Saiyan, I guess, scaling, if you would. Where, like, Ultra Instinct is a technique rather than a form. But it looks like a form because his hair color and aura and everything changes, so we treat it like it's a form, but it is a technique. Ultra Ego's the same thing. But then, like, other characters are doing their own thing. Where, like, Beast Gohan is not a Super Saiyan form, but it's also not a technique. Like, that is a form. Don't even ask me how that works. Orange Piccolo's the same thing. That's a form. What the fuck are these forms? I don't know. It got crazy. I think where they're at now is pretty fun, because everyone kind of has their own thing. And now that Broly has come back into it, Broly's whole thing that they're doing with him for, like, progressing his character and power and everything, what Broly is doing is he's just learning how to actually control himself when he's in his Super Saiyan form. So he's straight up just using Super Saiyan 1. But just Broly is Broly and so fucking crazy strong as a Saiyan that he's, like, carrying the whole Super Saiyan thing just on his own. Because him controlling his Super Saiyan is, like, on par with where everyone else has power scaled up to right now. Because, you know, it's Broly. We gotta make him just ridiculous, and Super Saiyan was kind of his whole thing. So, you know. Not lazy, just lacking foresight, for sure. Like I said, the Battle of Gods movie was just like a single movie they were doing, but then it was so successful that they were like, ah, shit, we gotta bring Dragon Ball back. So they've just been improvising, like, with every installment since then, and it's gotten kind of crazy. And then you add on to that Toriyama was, like, in it, out of it, in it, out of it. He was kind of like you know, involved with this project, but then not involved with this one. And then they would bring him on again and he would try to like put it all back together, but then he would not be involved with the next thing. So it would kind of go crazy again. And it was a lot. It was a lot. It's all over the place. And now it's probably going to get even more all over the place because Toyotaro, who was his apprentice, who was working on Super for the most part, who has now been officially like handed the reins of Dragon Ball since his passing, he just said at a press event recently that there really isn't like canon and non-canon with Dragon Ball, despite what we've thought up to this point, because the Dragon Ball, like there being multiple universes in Dragon Ball is a concept that was established in Super. And so out there are infinite possibilities and everything does happen somewhere. So basically they've just gone, yeah, fuck it. Dragon Ball multiverse is a thing. It's all canon. It's just, you know, GT is canon to GT and that timeline. And Daima is canon, but just to itself in that timeline. And Super is canon. They did the multiverse thing where it's like, yeah, it's all canon. It's just, you know, separate timelines, continuities, whatever you want to call it. Basically, there's like, yeah, whatever you like, you can just treat it as canon. It's fine. Don't worry about it too much. It's fun. I love Dragon Ball. Anyway, it is about that time. Those gems are crazy. Those gems are getting ridiculous. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a like, follow, sub, whatever. Come back another time. We're doing this. We're doing all sorts of other stuff. Like, what am I doing tomorrow? Metal Gear, Ace Combat.
I forgot because I saw the D.
Yakuza. I got bonus stuff planned. We got releases coming up. All sorts of stuff. Come back for any of it. Also, if you enjoyed and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a sub. Or I just said that. Shit. Go ahead and leave a like on the YouTube side. Helps out with algorithm and all that. Bumps up the VOD. I appreciate it. Thank you if you've done so already. Thank you if you're about to do so. If you're looking for links to anything else outside of Twitch or YouTube to engage with the community, check out links in the description below on YouTube or on Twitch. They're on the channel page. They're in chat commands. Things like Twitter, Discord server, whatever you're looking for, it's all there. Other than that, though, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you always back here next time. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming to the stream, and goodbye.